In my 22 years at Arsenal, I never lost 3 games in the Premier League in a row. Because I always thought when you lose the first one, everybody says you have to win the second one. But I always said, let's not lose the second one. Because the lack of confidence is so quick, but it's difficult to keep the club in a high, and the club gets immense pressure to make decisions like that. So overall, I believe that you have to try to reduce the crisis time. And that's why at the end of the day, it's always down to the quality of the players you have in your team first, after the coach can make something with the players. But I feel in the last 5-6 years, the coaches were always in difficult positions because they had not the needed quality to perform at the top level.
Well, after that draw, this is where Arsenal are currently in the Premier League table, still top of the table, 5 points clear of Manchester City, but of course have played that game extra and they're still yet to face each other as well, which comes on to the next point of the remaining fixtures. We're finally at that stage of the season now where we can get all of the fixtures onto the same page. But in terms of what's to come compared to Manchester City, how do you see this?
You know, it's all about football's all about timings. You play teams at certain times in the league. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can look down here at West Ham, they're 18th in the league, but that might be their game that they're fighting for survival, or they might have won 5 on the trot and they're middle of the table and they're safe and they're on holiday. You just don't know with the timings of the games. Like, Aston Villa could already be in the top 4, cemented, might be in the Europa final, and they're done. Do you know what I mean? And that game's not as hard as what it looks on paper. So it's difficult. You know, I always look at the next 2. Arsenal have got Chelsea and Tottenham. They are 2 very difficult games. More so, no disrespect to Newcastle and Leeds. You take Newcastle and Leeds over Spurs and Chelsea to start with.
Yeah, and I think Mace is exactly right. And I know we're going to go on to another slide in a minute, but the big thing I always go off is past experiences and how teams finish. And we know how Manchester City finish. I know we're going to show something in a minute, but we know how they finish. We know how Pep Guardiola finishes, and this obviously shows what we're talking about now. And he is an absolute monster at finishing strong, Pep Guardiola. And that's what I go off. I go off experiences, and I keep mentioning about Man City being sat at home, but they'll be sat at home now looking at this going, yeah, this is a bit of us. So, yeah, we look at this here and how they finish seasons. It's unbelievable the way they do it.
Yeah, this is just demonstrating the amount of points won by both Arsenal and Manchester City over the last 4 Premier League seasons in the last 12 games. Of course, different teams. You can argue whether Manchester City have got the same team as what they've had the last couple of seasons. But when you look at that, you speak about the experience. They're going to need to get this momentum, aren't they? Because they don't want the same thing to happen where City are having such a strong end to the season and Arsenal can't keep up.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in Arsenal's shoes if it happens again. I mean, I was quite shocked with the interview of Arteta then. First time, really, I've seen him not majorly positive. Do you know what I mean? Usually he comes out, you know, we've done this, we've done that, and he's saying, oh, we deserve the hit, we deserve the hit. You know, instead of coming out and going, we're 5 points clear, as long as we don't get beat by Man City, we go same as them, we win the league. Wasn't like that. Even he was I was a bit worried with that interview. Even he's finding it now and he's thinking, wow, you can only do to the team so much. And when you're watching that, there's something missing. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something missing. And if I had to highlight something, I would highlight what Marnie did to the 3 lads. Madueke, Martinelli, Saka. He brings the ball down and he just literally turns away from them. First half or 7, 9, 10 games ago, they take the ball off him and they're up the pitch and it's a counter-attack. Something's missing. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes if they don't win the league this year, because if they ain't winning the league this year, you know, I remember Patrick Vieira saying before the Man United game when he was on with Roy Keane, he said now or never. And I'm starting to think now. I was very bullish about Arsenal winning the league. That's half scared me tonight.